I3 gets an email from a shark.
A perfectly ordinary beach in a Cornish bay on a summer's day. There's little on the surface to indicate that it is a gateway to one of the sea's greatest mysteries. Just out of reach of the swimmers, a few hundred yards offshore, are other regular summer visitors to the Cornish coast. Visitors who have been coming here for longer than man. They are basking sharks. After whale sharks, the second biggest in the oceans of the world. Early every summer they appear in the shallow coastal waters of the North Atlantic, especially around southwest England. At the end of summer, they disappear as mysteriously as they came. Little is known about them, particularly where they come from and where they go. At the Marine Biological Association in Plymouth, Dr. David Sims is trying to unlock some of the mysteries of the basking sharks, and he intends to do it by email. Billions of emails are sent every day. David Sims is hoping for some strange ones. Emails from sharks telling him where and how they are spending their winters. Basking sharks are shy and gentle giants that feed with their mouths agape only on the smallest creatures in the sea, plankton. They can be longer than a bus and heavier than a couple of cars, but they've never been known to attack their only predator, man. For all their size, the known facts about them could fit into a slim volume. In particular, where are they when they're not just off the Cornish coast? We owe it to them and to their conservation in these waters to find out. The most widely accepted theory is that in fact they hibernate, that they dive deep into the cold ocean depths, switch off their metabolism and live on the fat reserves from summer feeding. The evidence to support this theory is that the occasional shark caught or washed ashore in the winter seemed to have shed its gill rakers, the mechanism by which it filters plankton for feeding. So how does David Sims intend to get them to email back to base in winter? It's all to do with tagging them, like prisoners on parole. Specially designed electronic tags will be attached to the sharks at sea off southwest Britain. When they are released automatically some months later, the tags will surface and transmit data from wherever to a satellite, which will then retransmit it to an Earth station. Where it will be downloaded and sent on by email to David for him to interpret.
Okay, this is a pop-up archival transmitting tag, and it consists essentially of a mini computer which acts as a data logger, and some buoyancy so that it will float, and also the antenna which will enable signals, data to be transmitted to satellites. The three sensors: depth, light and temperature. We've got to get the tag onto the shark so that then the tag will start recording the parameters which are related to the shark's movements. We get the tags onto the sharks by firing the tag through the fin, and then the tag will then just float free close to the body of the shark, but behind it.
There is a pressure of time on David and his colleagues. Basking sharks in British waters are close to extinction. Their regular migration routes have long been known to fishermen, and until recently they were fished for the oil from their gigantic livers. Even today, basking sharks are hunted for another part of their anatomy, their fins. Sharks are more susceptible than most fish to the demands man makes of the sea. Many shark populations around the world are on the verge of collapse, with some species actually facing extinction. It is to do with their life cycle. Basking sharks gestate for up to 3 years and seldom give birth to more than 2 pups. The pups may take many years to reach maturity. That is why scientists are trying to get to know them well, to help ensure their survival as a species. David Sims is not the only person trying to extend our knowledge of the basking shark. Colin Speedy is involved in a 3-year project on the identification of individual basking sharks by the shape of their fins. He and a crew of volunteers sail the waters off the Cornish coast, logging all sightings and the conditions that might be relevant to their migration patterns.
We don't even know how many there are. We don't know whether the animals that we see return year in, year out to the same area, or whether they're part of a larger population which maybe moves around over a greater area, perhaps down into France or into Ireland.
When a shark is sighted, the fin is photographed to create a sort of shark identity card.
So we've got quite a variety here of interesting pictures. These are some of the ones from the first survey, and what's interesting here is that we've got quite a variety of different fin shapes. We've got some injuries as well, and we've even got some useful behaviour pictures here. We are actually seeing quite a number of sharks now which we recognise year in, year out. So the more of those that we see, the more convincing it becomes that actually we're looking at local populations.
Okay, in this research we're using different satellite nets to obtain information, firstly with this image, which is sea surface temperature, the red areas being warm, the blue areas being cold. This helps us to locate the areas where sharks might be feeding along these boundaries between different water temperatures.
Even with the help of science and perfect weather, it's not easy to find a shark. Because basking sharks feed only on plankton, there is no way of luring them to the boat with bait. The only telltale sign is a fin above the water. Should the shark be feeding beneath the surface, there is little chance of spotting it. In some years, large numbers of sharks have been spotted off the coast of Plymouth, but this is not one of those years.
There's one. There. Right, Al, just here.
It takes 2 people to fix a tag.
Don't panic, don't you get your knickers in a twist.
It's all very well.
One mans the harpoon, the other makes sure that the tag line is clear. It can be a tricky operation on the narrow bow of a boat at sea.
Okay, it's still there, straight ahead. Can you come forward a bit more? No, he's down, he's down. He's down. Okay, it's gone down.
Glory, you went to be scared too quick, that one.
Tantalisingly close.
As part of the operation, the team tests the plankton levels in the sea.
Yeah, good. They're exactly the
sort of zooplankton that we would expect for sort of shark feeding areas. Large calanoid copepods, these crustaceans. There's not that many of them, which could explain why the animals aren't at the surface.
David is becoming anxious. The season is getting on, and he has 10 tags costing £3,000 each that should by now be attached to sharks. If he is unsuccessful, a year will have been wasted before he can try again. Perhaps he's trying in the wrong place. There's no better place in the world to find basking sharks, which is why the research projects are focused around the narrow, rocky Cornish peninsula jutting out into the North Atlantic. But even here, there is still an element of chance. While David has been unlucky, a film crew due west of the tip of Cornwall have had more success. This year, the ocean currents and fronts have resulted in the plankton blooming off North and West Cornwall, rather than off the south coast where David was. The sharks, it seems, knew what David did not. As an indication of shark size, this boat is 5 meters long, and the man clinging to it is 2 meters tall. Like the sharks, jellyfish are plankton eaters and often show the way. They tend to get to the feeding grounds first, drifting with the currents. This one has got a couple of hitchhikers along for the ride, small fish sheltering within the mass of jelly. David relocates to the west of Cornwall for a last go at his tagging operation. Already this year, he has tried tagging off the coast of Scotland, another popular hunting ground for basking sharks, and off the south coast. On both occasions, he drew a blank. He has only a few days left to get his tags attached, if his experiment is to have a chance of success this year.
Yeah, that's definitely a shark.
Oh, crikey, it's big.
That's huge. Yeah, it's okay. Man, he is huge.
Sorry, we just hit the swell.
It's okay. He was just diving away, and I could have gone for it, but
Yeah.
It's big.
So you're still ready to shoot, are you?
yeah,
Okay.
still ready. Got it, yes! That's it, well done. Well done.
Oh, God.
That's excellent.
I saw it as well. Did you get it on camera?
Well done, everyone. Well done.
There he is.
tag was just beautifully placed, just streaming behind him. That's excellent.
It's getting so scary because you can see
Excellent.
the bottom. I was like, oh my God.
We're only in about, what?
3 metres, we better get out of here.
Yeah, we better get out of here. So yeah, it is a special thing to tag it. But yeah, that shark, I mean, I was quite impressed with its response there. I mean, we tagged it and it just took a few seconds for the shark to then flip its tail a couple of times, quite hard, and then just swim off. I mean, it wasn't in distress, I didn't think.
We've just tagged a shark, a 6-metre shark, with tag 0331.
Success at last, and practice makes perfect. Over the next 2 days, David succeeds in deploying the rest of his tags. Now all he has to do is wait the weeks or months until the tags are automatically released from the sharks, one by one, and at varying times, and float to the surface.
Yes, got it. Yep, got it.
Yes,
There it is.
Shark, you can see it on
Yeah,
the
you can see the
shark.
tag there, the white.
How long was that tether?
That tether was 2 metres.
The shark was a blur to me.
And it was halfway between the first dorsal and the tail. So, you know, that's going to be a 6 metre, 6.5, 7 metre fish. That's neat.
There is much that could still go wrong. Will the tags survive their unknown journey into the depths? Will they transmit if and when they reach the surface? If so, what will they reveal? Back at the Marine Biological Association, David must get on with his work and wait.
Good grief, how old is this?
Perhaps his work will add to the scant existing knowledge about basking sharks that has been expanded little over 200 years.
Might be nice to just record those words as well.
With any luck, any day now, David will get the first of his emails from his shark contacts at sea. The waiting is over. He has mail. The sharks are writing back to base in increasing numbers, telling him where they have been and what they've been doing. All he has to do is decipher their encoded messages.
We think we've solved one of the great wildlife mysteries, one that's been around for decades. Where do basking sharks go and what do they do? The basking shark isn't just a basking shark. It's also a diving shark. It dives frequently to very deep depths. To give you an idea of the sorts of depths that we've tracked the sharks down to, one shark, for instance, during summer, was regularly diving to 450 meters depth, but making frequent searches through the water column for necessarily trails that may lead them to that zooplankton prey. Another shark actually tagged off Plymouth, swam out to the shelf edge where it was feeding and remained there until November. And this shark did some incredible dives. This shark, over a period of 6 hours, dived from the surface to over 750 meters, possibly down to 1,000 meters depth. Now that, over that time scale of hours, is the broadest vertical foraging range of any shark. The basking shark currently holds the diving record.
But what do they do in times other than the summer months when they are basking in the waters around Cornwall? Indeed, do they snooze away the winter, hibernating at depth?
Our data shows clearly that hibernation doesn't occur in basking sharks. All the basking sharks that we've tracked during the winter have remained on the continental shelf. They haven't gone into deep water at any time during winter, other than to exhibit some very deep diving necessarily on the shelf edge.
so they have good appetites and are feeding all the year round. In fact, they will take long and solitary journeys following concentrations of plankton.
In 10 days, one of the sharks travelled 500 kilometres, so they're clearly making a directed movement to the shelf edge. Yet one of the sharks, a 4.5 metre subadult, moved 1,900 kilometres in 76 days, tracking the plankton along the shelf edge, travelling north from the English Channel to Scotland. An incredible journey over such a short time.
Yet for all their healthy appetites and their urge to roam over long distances following the food, David knows now that they are British basking sharks. Whether they are basking on the surface or scooping up their food down below, they stay in the waters of the British Isles.
The sharks during winter are ranging probably out to 500 miles from the UK coast. But then as winter progresses, they're moving back into coastal inshore areas, not more than 50 to 100 miles from the coastline. All the sharks that we've tagged and the tags have popped up during winter have been within 50 or so miles of the UK coast, primarily in the south. Our results tell us that basking sharks are truly British sharks, and not just seasonal migrators into the inshore areas around the UK and Ireland. But although we've tagged basking sharks and shown their incredible journeys and their overwintering behaviour, there's so much more still to learn. We've got tags out there at this moment, logging data on sharks that are travelling through the sea. So only when we gain more data can we possibly learn the true life history, lifestyle of the basking shark. I'm sure that it still holds many, many more mysteries. When you manage to tag a shark with one of these transmitters, the frustration and the emotion all tied up with, can we achieve our project objectives? Are we going to succeed? All that drains away, and you're left with the feeling of exhilaration, excitement, and also of wonder, inasmuch that you've tagged an animal which you're then going to find something amazing about. You're going to find out where it goes and what it does. And it's that sort of detective work, that sort of snooping, if you like, on these animals that perhaps is one of the greatest sort of bonuses of doing the work. Seeing them's one thing, which is great, but actually finding out what they're doing, that's really what we're interested in.